Alright, bro, so all this talk that you're doing, saying you want to be a millionaire, saying you want to be jacked, right? That's all that it is. It's just talk without you putting any action into it, right? Here's the thing, right? Like, it takes multiple or like several attempts of failure for you to get good at the skills that you need to become a millionaire, if that makes sense, and also to become jacked as well, right? And here you are without even taking the first step yet. You're just wondering, like, oh, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Without actually even trying it, right? The thing is, like, most of you know what needs to be done already, but you're still not doing it just because you're like just fantasizing about it right now. You just in your head, you're like celebrating without actually even putting in the work. Um, and that releases like pretty much the same amount of dopamine that it takes to like actually achieve it. So like it's kind of similar. So like you're pretty much like celebrating in your mind without even actually achieving the success, right? And that's dangerous because like you can be stuck in this loop forever, pretty much, because that's what I've been through as well. Like I've been, if I wanted to start a new business model, I'll be like looking at it, watching videos, just like mentally masturbating about it, without actually like putting any action into it. I'll watch like 7 hour course. I'm like, oh wow, someone dropped a 7 hour course on this. Like fuck, this is so valuable. And I watched the entire thing, and like none of the action was taken because like I was just lazy and like I just wanted to feel productive, and like that's just not the way to go, right? And let's say you started a business model, right? Let's say you started dropshipping, right? Because that's what I did. When I was a beginner in entrepreneurship, that's what I did, right? I started dropshipping, and I was like, bro, this is actually hard. Like the first couple of days, I was like really hype about it. I was like, going through all these emotions and stuff like this. And I was like, bro, this is gonna work out. I'm gonna be a millionaire, and like I'm gonna retire my family and stuff like that. And then like a couple of days, couple of weeks into it, I was like, bro, this is actually so hard. And like people, these like YouTube gurus don't say how hard it is. They just want to show you all the glamour, all the like, the supercars and the models and whatever, right? And they don't actually tell you like the actual work that needs to go behind it. And that's what I realized, and I was like, fuck, this is actually hard. And then I kept jumping from business model to business model, just from one shiny object to another, without actually like taking any action and like sticking with one forever, as in like for several years, right? And that's the thing, like I would spend like a couple $100, several $100 on like ads, for like drop shipping, right? And like I remember like I would call it a scam after like spending like a several $100 on ads. I'll be like, this is a scam, bro. Like there's no way people are making money off this. But then I see on YouTube like everyone posting their screenshots or whatever, and like their Shopify dashboards and stuff like this, saying like they made like this amount, this amount, this amount in like X amount of days, right? And then I was like, bro, maybe it's a issue of mine, maybe it's a me issue, right? Maybe it's a skill issue, right? That's when like everything started clicking, and I was like, bro, it's a skill issue. This is not like a business model issue, you know. That's what would happen to you as well. Like you would. This happens to all beginners, by the way. Like they just jump from one shiny object to another, and they're like, bro, is this gonna work out? Is that gonna work out? And nothing actually works out, and you're like, bro, this is actually a scam, and quit, and like jump from one business model to another, right? The thing is, yes, I started the business model, right? That's like the biggest step, right? I started, but then, I just ran into issues where it was like a skill issue, and like there's like multiple skills that need to be learned with like, let's say dropshipping, right? You need to learn multiple skills. So like the skill of running ads, the skill of marketing, creating good creatives, and there's multiple different other aspects of it as well, creating good landing pages, So like, bro, there's multiple skills involved, and like it takes years to perfect them. And the thing is, like, you need to master those skills in order to be really successful with that business model, right? So yes, the biggest step is starting, but hey, you need to like go further than that. You need to go above and beyond that, right? And that's the same with fitness, right? Like people jump from like one fitness routine to another without actually like sticking to one for a long period of time, right? If you look at me, I've been sticking to the same routine for like 7 years. It's like the bro split for like 7 years straight. But then there's people jumping from push pull legs to like the Arnold split or to the bro split, right? So like, yeah, I mean, it's just so obnoxious when I think about it. But like, I didn't apply the same principle to business, right? It didn't click for me. So like, I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was like, wait, I should apply the same thing to business, right? Because all of them make money. Because there's people out there making money with it, right? So like, yo, like this, all business models work. I just have to put my time into it, right? Just like I have with fitness, and that just clicked for me, and I was like, fuck, I really need to go all in on one thing and not jump from one thing to another, right? And that's the thing, right? That's the shiny object syndrome, right? So like, and it's very prevalent with business models as opposed to like fitness routines, just because like there's only like a few fitness routines, right? There's a couple, right? Like there's the bro split, there's the Arnold split, there's push pull legs, and there's probably like hybrid training or whatever, you know. There's only like 4 or 5, right? But there's multiple business models, and like these YouTube gurus are like talking about one thing one day and like the next thing and that the next day, right? So like you're pretty much like, yo, where do I start as a beginner? Like, how do I even start, you know? So you like you just keep jumping from one thing to another and like repeating the cycle over and over again without even realizing, you know. But yeah, you just have to stop and think, like, yo, what am I doing here? I'm not putting my all into it. I'm not like actually researching the skills, the core skills that I need to learn to master the business model. So I'm doing YouTube right now, and like the key skills that need to be mastered with that is pretty much like persuasion, storytelling, and influencing, and pretty much stuff like that, right? So yeah, I mean, like it's not that much to learn, but like once you realize that the skills are needed to be learned first, and like you just forget about the business model, right? The business model is just a vehicle, right? So like you need to learn the core skills behind it so that you can apply it to the business model that you're working on, right? Otherwise, you just look at the business model and go, oh, okay, so Amazon FBA. So like I just take stock from wherever and send it to Amazon, and that's it, right? No, like there's some core skills behind it that you need to learn. So like, but just obviously starting is the first step, but you need to go beyond that, right? You need to learn the skills to master something. And that's the thing, right? Like all fitness routines like give you gains. All business models give you money. They all work. They probably don't work the same way, but they all work and they give you the same end result. It's just a different part to the same result, right? So you need to realize that and like pretty much just go with the flow. So like, yeah, so that's all I want to talk about, bro. I just want to come here and give you some little advice on how to go about the business models, life, fitness, whatever. I think like most young guys are going through like a period of time where they want to focus on either fitness or business. So like I'm providing advice on that most of the time now. So like, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.